Hey, just getting prepared. Hey, everybody. I promise I will not be before you long. Just coming back to piggyback on some things that I actually already talked about. If you watched the last live and you know that you inboxed me, I just want to thank you for being encouraging. And I hope that I was able to help you with your question, your concern. Um, hey, hey guys. I had some people inbox me. I mean, when I tell you that there's some people out here that are hurting on their jobs and just lost and don't know which way to go. And, it bothers me, because healthcare is my passion. And I've been doing this so long, it's really all I really know how to do. Unless I go work at the bank. I'm sure somebody can get me in there. Hi. So, we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts in leadership. And why are we leaders anyway? This was a hard one for me to try to tackle because I am a strong leader. If anybody has ever worked with me, then they already know. And no jokes, guys. You already know. I want to try to be serious. So I'm mostly no nonsense, but I also know how to have fun with my staff. I will have fun with them. And what that really, kind of equates to is like, yeah, we can laugh, but we got work to do. So I'm not going to talk about the different types of management styles. Hey, you guys that are joining, because we can read books and books and books, but they will never really equip us for what the real world has to, offer once you get out there and you planning on, walking into leadership. So why did I make this particular video anyway? Well, I've been in leadership for quite some time on my job. You guys know I'm a nurse. I happen to be an administrator, so I run a actual facility, a healthcare facility, nurses, CNAs, dietary, laundry, social service, quite a bit of entities under the umbrella. So, but I've had people say to me before, well, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get my degree, or I'm going to get my RN, or whichever thing that they want to get when they go to school. And they say, I'm going to get it because I'm going to be a DON or ADON or whatever leadership position that they're seeking. But it's really not a good reason to get your degree to be in charge. So let's talk a little bit about it, because we really want to better ourselves when we talk about something like that. So some of what I'm going to talk about has taught me as well, and it's tough being in charge of people. We have that what's that old saying? People say, I shouldn't have to tell adults what to do. I shouldn't have to tell people what to do. Well, yes, you do. And that's why people hire supervisors, because adults need to be instructed and supervised to make sure that we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So I have observed, I have noted, I've taken pointers. I'm a student as well as somebody who's able to help. So I've watched our successes and I've watched our failures if you're, in leadership. And what I want to tell people is that it's not glitz and it's not glam. It's not glitz and it's not glam. It's even harder once you sit in a seat and you're in charge of people. So if it looks easy, or if you know somebody and she's in charge, or me and I'm in charge, and you say, well, Ebony, you make it look so easy, it's only because I'm graced for it. Because I have had days where I've come home and I cried, because it's hard. It's a very hard job, and my heart is in it. So it's above and beyond what I can describe. So I just want, people to know that all the education in the world that we go to school and get, it will never prepare you for, once you hit the surface and you hit the ground running, no degree, nothing. experience and just the sheer innate ability to be able to lead people. So, do get into management to help create a solution to a problem. In healthcare, we have many problems. So if you are going to go into management, or if it's your desire to go into management in healthcare, then you want to make sure that you have noted a problem, but you also want to try to offer a solution or resolve that problem. It's like a CNA going to a nurse. That is going into a form of a management position because you're in charge of your CNA and anything that you have going on that is under you. So you become a nurse from a CNA so that you can direct your patient's care more. You get to direct how the patient's day is going to go, and you get to manage that system. And you also get, promoted, and I don't want to, sugarcoat it. You get funds, but that shouldn't be the ultimate reason as to why you want to get into a leadership role, is because you want to tell your friends, I got some more money. So what problem would you like to help resolve? What do you want to resolve as a leader? I remember seeing things when I was, a CNA, and I remember seeing things when I was a nurse providing direct care that I felt like in my heart of hearts, well, if I was, in a leadership position, then where we failed at right here, maybe I could have offered my ideas and did something differently, and then we would have prevented that, or next time we will know how to get over that hurdle. So leadership and management styles, they teach you how to be a leader like that, getting ideas from your staff and incorporating them into your everyday practice. Don't get into management just because a person asked you to, or you just want to tell people what to do. You have people who become managers and supervisors because they just want to tell people what to do. It's a power trip. Hey, I get to tell her what to do. You better do it, and that's it. And that's how they are. And hey, I'm sorry if you work for that type of person, but they exist. So don't get into leadership because you just want to tell people what to do, or somebody just called you up and said, hey, take this position. I need you to do this. You have to know that that's something that you can do and something that you feel like, you were born to do. So in those situations, that's where you want to take a real self-evaluation and meditate on your motive. What is your motive when you get into leadership? What's your motive? Meditate on your motives if you know that somebody just called you or you want to go into leadership. Just make sure that your motive is sound and is a positive reason. Don't be your title. That's a big one. When leadership is your title and not your talent, you will throw tantrums when things don't go your way. You will. Adults will throw tantrums if their title is what they're into. If it's not your talent, you will throw a tantrum, and the rest of the people around you will watch you throw these tantrums, and because you're in charge, they're probably not going to correct you. So, when leadership is your title and not your talent, you will throw tantrums when things don't go your way, and that's not cool. So some things about how, we can be. I went to LPN school. I went through the Chicago Public Schools Practical Nursing Program. You guys know that. A lot of great people came out of that program. And my instructor, she always preached being kind yet firm. That's how she was. And we had to figure out how to incorporate that into our day-to-day communication with our patients and with the nurses. We were young. We had to gain some type of confidence to be able to do the things that we were doing. So kind yet firm, which usually translate into the English term, yeah, we can laugh, but you got to do your work. Kind, firm. Yeah, we can laugh, but you got to do your work. You see that transition? Kind yet firm. Yeah, we can laugh, but you got to do your work. Listen, if you're nice, people are going to say you're weak. That's just it. If you're nice, they say you're weak. And if you're firm, they say you're mean. So meet them in the middle. Kind firmness. Meet them in the middle. I had a young lady tell me, you know, and she's a sweet person and she's very nice, and she had hit a bump in the road in her leadership role. And she said that, you know, her strength was her weakness. So there are areas that all of us can work on in that area. Being too stern, being too firm, being too nice. Nice equals weak. Stern equals mean. Kind, firmness. I'm going to go over that definition again. Yeah, we can laugh, but you got to do your work. They go together. So I try to be straightforward and consistent with my staff. It's really hard to be consistent because sometimes they'll throw you off. If you're thinking about stepping into the management side of things and you're new to it, you want to make sure that you deal with some of the things that are going to come along. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be scared. You're going to be scared to tell people what to do. And I remember walking into my first leadership role. I was young and I knew everything on the paper. I knew on paper, this is what they have to do. Okay, and they have to do this, and we have to make sure we're doing this. But guess what? It's going to be some people that are not, they're rule breakers. How do you address rule breakers? And you want to be nice about it. And you really wish that everybody would just do the job. But I'm here to tell you, they're not. You got to muster up the confidence. You got to know that if you're going into a leadership role, or if you're going from a CNA to a nurse, or you're the CNA team leader, you got to be comfortable being able to instruct, guide, sometimes corrective action. You got to build up that confidence. So those anxieties, they're normal. I had them. The fears, they're normal. I had them. I had to watch leaders who were effective. They gave me, or they opened up and allowed me to experience a confidence where I could walk in it and build upon it. So, another thing that you can't do, we cannot just ignore wrongdoings. You can't. No matter how small it is, even if it's a conversation, you always want to correct a wrong. Professionally or in a teaching setting, you have to, because the littlest thing that we allow to happen as leaders, it turns into bigger things and bigger things and bigger things. And when it gets too big, it's too late. Here's another one. The use of profanity. Hey guys, the use of profanity as a leader or a supervisor, or if you're in a management role. I'm not saying that if you curse that you're a bad person. I'm saying that I erased profanity from my vocabulary completely a few years ago. And guess what? I actually get better results. I get better results. I can instruct somebody to do something, ask them to do something, tell them to do something, whatever you want to call it, and I do not have to use profanity, and I can get the same result or better. So I'll give you an example of what happened to a person. This person was very comfortable using profanity with the staff that they instructed. And when the staff used profanity with that person got angry. But it's a two-way street. So let's just steer clear of it. You don't need it. You can say the same words, give the exact same instruction, and you don't have to use profanity. That's me. I did away with it. I get the same results and even better. My team is awesome. Be impartial. Be fair. Impartiality, fairness. You want to be unbiased. You cannot show favoritism if you're in a leadership position. You cannot. Especially if you have friends, family, as coworkers. You cannot show favoritism. Everyone should be following the same rules, whether it's your sister, your brother, your auntie, your BFF, whatever we call our best friends. Everybody has to follow the same rules. So you can't show favoritism because the people that are around you, they're watching you. They're watching your every move. They're watching how you speak to your friends or your family member. They're watching how you give them instruction as opposed to how you give, your other staff members instructions. So you want to make sure that you're being impartial and that you're not showing favoritism. Same rules apply to everybody. If you know your friend or family is your boss, so if you know that your friend or your family is your boss, do your best to set an example because the spotlight is always on you. You don't want to have your friend or your family member out there or they got, they shaking their head or they got to cover their face when they're in the front of the other staff because you called off 30 times and you're still employed. Don't embarrass your friend or your family member. You have to set an example because you want them to look good. You want your friend or your family member to look good if you work for them. So make sure that we're being fair as leaders, even if your friend or your family member works with you. Lastly, and I'm about to close, me, myself as a leader, I don't promote being in a clique when you're at work. Clique-like behavior, or any of the such. Your success is always going to be based on the success of your team. Your success as a leader is based on the success that your team delivers. It's never about you. It's always about your team. Your team has to be great. And that makes you a great person because they like to do work and they like to work under you. So, a cliquish leader will always exclude someone or somebody's. If you're cliquish, everybody's not in your clique. So you have to make sure that you're treating everybody equally or you keep that separate from work. Here's just something that I wrote. Your clique will always, not always, your clique will disappoint you. They will defy you and they will ultimately dismantle. Your team will be dependable, dedicated, and deliver every time. I can assure you. Build a team and not a clique, and you will be more successful in your day-to-day actions or your day-to-day instructions or your day-to-day things that you're doing on a job. Remember, if you make a mistake, because we do, we're human, God will always give you a do-over. Do better the next time. We're not perfect as leaders. We do make mistakes, but remember, God will give us a do-over. And then you have to, as a leader, accept the fact that not everyone will like you. An effective leader has foes. Not everyone will be your friend. Unfortunately, you gotta live with it. So I hope this helps a few people thinking about going in leadership. I thank you guys for joining me, and you can watch it later if you didn't get to catch it. And we'll talk next time. Oh, I do have one more thing. I have a letter that a young lady wrote, and she wrote this June 25th, 2015. So I've had this letter for 2 years now, roundabout. It's anonymous. It was left in my mailbox, and it touched my soul so deeply because it reminded me that I'm doing exactly what I came to do. It says, "Hi, Mrs. Scott. How are you? I am just writing you because it's so hard to catch you when I am here. I just wanted to say, I have been here almost 5 years, and it's always changes being made, but not like you have. I take my hat off to you because you are doing a real nice job running your building. You are a lady with many hats, and you wear them well. I pray that the good Lord continues to bless you and that you continue to grow." Letters like this from anonymous staff is why I continue to do exactly what I'm doing. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later.